Hi there. Today I'm going to talk about a book on surveillance, and this book was given to me by the guys in South Africa as a gift after one of the training courses there, and it's this book, Secrets of Surveillance, a professional's guide to tailing subjects by vehicle, foot, airplane and public transportation, and it's written by ACM for security services. Now, I've never been able to find out anything about who they are, so who knows who wrote the book. The method in the book seems to have elements of the British military system that comes from the Northern Ireland experience, but with a lot of American modifications to it. So how this come about, I don't know. I do know that I was hosted in Germany by a Department of Defense unit that was trained in surveillance by guys from the Det on some sort of package organised by the intelligence services. So there was a pipeline for that passage of information. Whether this book has anything to do with that training, I don't know. All I can say is some elements of the book do suggest the British influence or British methodology. So it's quite a few chapters. It's quite an involved subject. There's an overview, basically the reasons why surveillance is done, the legal aspects, collecting information, suspicious activity and so on. Next is dress, disguise and mannerisms, fitting in, etc. to the area of operations. Equipment overview. Now, obviously, the book was written in 1993 and equipment has evolved since then. Surveillance operation prep. This is the gathering of relevant information prior to starting a surveillance operation. The more information that the team has, the easier it is to commence the surveillance and to prepare the correct type of surveillance cover for a particular target. Stakeouts, basic vehicular surveillance, advanced vehicular surveillance, foot surveillance, public locations, combined foot and vehicle surveillance. That's very important, obviously, because you're following someone in the car, he gets out of the car, he goes into a pedestrian area and so on. Public transportation, again, progressive surveillance, that's for very, very highly aware targets. And then there's some appendices, brevity codes and brevity code applications. That really, the brevity codes are very, very complex. It's a lot to learn. Now, you can't learn surveillance from a book. You can't learn surveillance from a short course. It's a highly complex activity. If you are actually doing surveillance. Marcus made a point once that it's easy to follow people who are not aware. It's called stalking. But following people who are surveillance conscious requires a much more professional approach. And in the commercial world, there's a lot of stalking going on. A lot of people who get paid to follow people who are scamming medical insurance and things like this. People are not really aware, and it's a very, very easy job. People like that would benefit from a manual like this in order to gain a little bit more knowledge and sophistication in their approach. But really, apart from that, if you haven't been trained to the professional standard of many, many weeks, months of training, then all this book would be really as a reference, to supplement a proper course of training, in my opinion. And it's not a knock on this book. That would apply to any book on the subject. As it was written in '93, since then they've advanced the dance, and technological advances have been made really off the scale. Information gathering, as we mentioned earlier, is much easier with the internet. There's a lot of open source information available. Airborne surveillance platforms make the job three-dimensional, and there's a lot of sophistication in it since this book was written. So that's my comments. I got some use out of the book when I first got it. How much use it would be in current times would be up to you to decide. There are other books. There's a couple of British manuals I'll probably review. I do have them, but that was the first meaty one on the subject that was widely available.